You are tapped in with Caden. In this video, I'm going to give you 3 reasons why I believe Xander Zayas was a better opponent for Vergil Ortiz Jr. than Israil Madrimov. But first, we're going to look at Team Ortiz's explanation for selecting Israil Madrimov over Xander Zayas. Xander Zayas tweeted, "I accepted the fight but never heard back. Did you just boots me? We were all in." And he at Vergil Ortiz, top-ranked Turkey al-Sheikh in Golden Boy Boxing. Vergil Ortiz responded saying, "Yeah, I ducked you to fight Madrimov, LOL. Your time will come, don't you worry. We got bigger fish to fry over here." So Ortiz is stating he couldn't have ducked him because he's fighting Madrimov. And in Ortiz's opinion, Madrimov is a much better opponent than Xander Zayas. Do you agree with that? I'll discuss it. We'll break it down. Okay. But Vergil Ortiz Sr. also jumped into this discussion and he tweeted Xander Zayas, and he stated this right here. Vergil Ortiz Sr. tweeted, "Xander, you seem like a good," I think he meant kid. "Don't act like some of these people on here. The truth is they called and asked if Junior would fight you, and it was an easy yes. They also called 4 other guys. You were the least accomplished, so by their standards, you were not qualified. Ask top rank GL champ." And I think he meant good luck champ. And you know, I'm not going to get into how this was written. The point is he's stating that Xander Zayas wasn't qualified somehow, and he was the least accomplished. And so he told him to ask top rank. Now, I can't think of a reason why top rank would be okay with Xander Zayas not getting the fight. But then again, perhaps they're saying, well, at least we don't have to throw him in with a risky fighter so soon. But I'm not so sure that top rank didn't want this fight. Now, we're going to look at this right here. Xander Zayas responded with, "My time came and I answered the call, and that's a fact. But you call it whatever you want, LOL." And Vergil Ortiz responded with, "Congratulations," praying hand emojis. I mean, I don't know if this was intended to be condescending or if, I don't know, like saying congratulations because he said like he answered the call and he wanted to fight, But then again, I won't read too much into that. The last tweet that we're going to look at is Xander Zayas responding to them saying that basically there were people who were more qualified. Xander Zayas stated, "I respect the business decision. It's understandable, and I'm sure the fight will take place in the future. Good luck in February," which is a good response. Now, my brother HLD was not happy about this, and he responded in the comment section, "His daddy had to come out and speak for Junior, K. Lindo. His team knows what's up. Xander, if you were easy pickings, then a Mexican whooping a Puerto Rican on a huge stage for an easy bag should have been the obvious choice." At Vergil Ortiz ducked, and at Vergil Ortiz Sr. knows it. A man is only as good as his word. I thought Texas was big on this. Guess not. It takes 2 to tango in boxing. And you see what he's HLD's responding to what Vergil Ortiz said. He said it takes 2 to tango in boxing. So if I'm not in that ring fighting someone, I know it's not my fault. Time for some of you guys to stop saying I'm ducking and don't want to fight, because that's not the case this time and never was. So Xander Zayas is out here saying, "Let's get it popping." And he's like, "Oh, I got bigger fish to fry," which kind of contradicts what he's saying, because Xander Zayas stepped up and he said, let's get it popping. And now he's like, "Oh, I got bigger fish to fry." But now we're going to get to the 3 reasons why I believe that Xander Zayas is a better opponent for Vergil Ortiz Jr. than Israil Madrimov. And the first reason is Israil Madrimov will have a short turnover before he fights Vergil Ortiz. Now, if you look on BoxRec, and you could also look at the actual card, you will see that Israil Madrimov is fighting Boachuk on the undercard of Fury Usyk. So after fighting on December 21st, Israil Madrimov would have a small window to recover, then get back in training camp and prepare for Vergil Ortiz Jr. on February 22nd. It says 25th here, but I think it should say 22nd. But the point is, as you can see, he's going. Israil Madrimov is having tough fight after tough fight. Terrence Bud Crawford, which he lost, was a tough, grueling fight for 12 rounds for Israil Madrimov. And Israil Madrimov gets a lot of credit off of the fact that he was competitive with Terrence Bud Crawford. But if you look at his record, he has 10 wins, 1 draw, and 1 loss. So you have 12 fights here. And you look at the people he beat, right? If you take a look at the people he beat, they're no world beaters on his resume. Yeah, he was competitive with Terrence Bud Crawford. Well, congratulations. He was competitive with Terrence Bud Crawford. But he didn't beat anyone that's notable. And you have people running around saying, well, who does Shakur beat? Well, what has Shakur done? What has Israil Madrimov done to stamp him in his 12 fights? Okay, he got whooped by Bud Crawford. He was more competitive than people gave him credit for. So now that makes him some great opponent. And it's not like Madrimov is a superstar who's way more popular than Xander Zayas. So the first reason why I think Xander Zayas is a better opponent is because he's going to be fresh. He's going to have a full training camp, and he's not going to be recovering and then have a short turnover for training camp like Israil Madrimov. And this is assuming that Boachuk doesn't give Madrimov the business or even take him through a tough, grueling fight, because Vergil Ortiz struggled with Boachuk. And although I scored the fight for Vergil Ortiz, I think by like 1 point, I have to check my scorecard. There were many people who were crying robbery at the end of the fight who felt like Boachuk won because Boachuk hurt Vergil Ortiz and dropped Vergil Ortiz. So just flat out assuming, one, that Madrimov would beat Boachuk assuming that Madrimov will beat Boachuk when we haven't seen Madrimov really, I'm going to be honest, beat anyone the caliber of Boachuk. He has no win on his resume as good as Boachuk yet, Israil Madrimov. But they're already assuming he's going to beat Boachuk. So one, he has to beat Boachuk. Two, even if he beats Boachuk, he's going to have to do it so convincingly that he's not going to need an extended period of time to recover. So for me, personally, this fight is a huge risk because let's say this fight is as grueling as Boachuk's fight with Vergil Ortiz Jr. There's no way Madrimov is going to be able to have such a short turnaround and fight on February 22nd after being in a war on December 21st. So again, that's why Xander Zayas would have been a better opponent to me, because you have someone who can have a full training camp. You don't have to worry about all these contingencies. Oh, if this happens, then this can happen. But if this happens, who's the backup for Israil Madrimov? At least tell me Xander Zayas is the backup. So that's the first reason why I think Xander Zayas would be a better opponent, because one, there's a lot of ifs that need to take place. And the first if is if Israil Madrimov beats Boachuk, and then two, if he does it without taking extensive damage. So that's the first reason why. The second reason why I believe that Xander Zayas is a better opponent for Vergil Ortiz is it's Mexico versus Puerto Rico, as HLD stated. Mexico versus Puerto Rico has a history. In fact, that's what carried most of the promotion for Canelo Alvarez versus Edgar Berlanga. We all knew Edgar Berlanga only had a puncher's chance to beat Canelo, but it was mainly the Mexico-Puerto Rico rivalry, and you would have that here. The fans would be entertained. And like HLD said, you have a Mexican who would have the opportunity to slap a Puerto Rican, a so-called easy fight for him. And not only would he be slapping a Puerto Rican, he would be slapping up a Puerto Rican on one of the biggest cards in the history of the sport. He would be slapping up a young Puerto Rican prospect who may go on to do greater things, and he would always have that dub over the young Puerto Rican prospect, right? Just like Floyd Mayweather always has the dub over Canelo. To me, and it was stated that Xander Zayas wasn't what Vergil Ortiz had in mind, is what they said. And everyone can act like Xander Zayas is some easy touch. But again, what is it about Israil Madrimov's resume that makes you say he's so much better than Xander Zayas, or makes you think that he's better than Xander Zayas? Xander Zayas is young. He's talented. He has more fights. He sparred Terrence Bud Crawford. You know what I would love? Ask Terrence who's better, because Terrence has come out and said that Xander Zayas is the truth. Maybe we should ask Terrence who's better between Xander Zayas and Israil Madrimov. But the fact remains, there's nothing that Israil Madrimov has accomplished in the pros that makes me say like he's levels above Xander Zayas. Okay, he was competitive with Terrence Bud Crawford. He lost. And the zone was hyping it up. The commentary was hyping it up. But the fight was a thorough, convincing win for Terrence Bud Crawford. It was. And now he's fighting Boachuk. Boachuk would be his best win. Vergil Ortiz has a win over Boachuk, but it was split. I went on Twitter after the fight. Everyone was like, oh, well, not everyone. Half the people were saying robbery. Half the people were saying Vergil Ortiz won, but let's not act like he cooked Boachuk. So, again, we can't write off Boachuk in this fight with Madrimov, because what has Madrimov done to get all this respect? He needs to go out there and beat Boachuk. He needs to do it conventionally. I'm assuming that the powers that be feel like he will do that. And if I'm Boachuk right now, I feel so disrespected. I feel so disrespected that I'm fighting on a card for Riyadh season in Saudi Arabia with Turki Al-Sheikh, and they already signed my opponent to a bigger fight, a fight against someone I think I beat. Oh, I'm pissed. So don't be surprised if Boachuk goes out there and plays spoiler. But again, the first reason is it'll be a short turnover for Madrimov, and he has to win convincingly and take no punishment in order for this fight to be able to continue. The second reason why I feel like Xander Zayas is a better opponent is the Puerto Rico versus Mexico rivalry, which is embedded in the sport, which practically sells itself when you have two really good fighters like Vergil Ortiz and Xander Zayas. Man, that would be fireworks. The public would be into it. So that's another reason. And the last reason why I think that Xander Zayas is a better opponent for Vergil Ortiz than Israil Madrimov is Xander Zayas is young. He's 22 years old, and he's entering his prime. Vergil Ortiz is currently in his prime, or should be in his prime, at the age of 26. So he has this window now where he should be fighting in his prime and cementing his legacy and cementing himself, right? And for him to act like, I got bigger fish to fry. Is Madrimov really a bigger fish? That's my question. I don't see how Madrimov is really a bigger fish, because he lost to Terrence Bud Crawford. So you got him losing to Terrence Bud Crawford. Now he's going to be in a tough fight with Boachuk. And then, 6 weeks after, I'm not 6, probably like 8 weeks after, he's going to fight Vergil Ortiz. Oh, yeah, that's dope. That's dope. Even if Vergil Ortiz wins that fight, he's not going to get much credit for it. Everyone's going to be like, oh, you had to give him a short window. He had to take the fight on short notice. And I respect Madrimov. This is no knock against Madrimov. Madrimov is taking on the toughest competition. You go from Bud to Boachuk to Vergil Ortiz Jr. You're fighting killer after killer after killer. You got to do nothing but respect that. But I don't know if that's wise. He could have fought Xander Zayas and then fought Madrimov after. It could have been the build-up to that. Madrimov beats Boachuk. Then Vergil Ortiz Jr. beats Xander Zayas, and now they're going to meet each other. That would have made the fight even bigger, and it would have given Madrimov a legitimate chance to recover from his fight with Boachuk, right? So to me, it just seems like, and I got to be honest, when they said, it takes two to tango, and just know if the fight doesn't happen, it's not me. I feel like they didn't want Xander Zayas. They did not want Xander Zayas. And you can say, oh, but I'm fighting Madrimov. But you're fighting Madrimov on short notice. Madrimov has to go in there and put on a performance of his life. Madrimov basically has to knock out Boachuk with one punch in order for it to be on the up and up. So yeah, you're mentioning Madrimov, but you're Madrimov, December 21st. How much recovery time is he going to get? Let's say December 21st, right? And then you have January coming up. So it's December 21st. Let's say he takes 3 weeks to recover. So he's going to start training camp around mid-January, and then he's going to fight you on February 22nd. Yeah, you got Madrimov on like a safety plan. You could have had Madrimov legit. That's what would have been impressive if you had Madrimov after he beat Boachuk and you beat Xander Zayas. Then y'all both have a full training camp with recovery to fight each other. That would have been more impressive. And then the question remains, if Boachuk beats Madrimov, now you're going to fight Boachuk in a rematch instead of fighting Xander Zayas? Or are you going to sideswipe Boachuk and not give him another opportunity? Because you're going to be like, I already beat him, so why should I fight him again? Because there was controversy in that fight. So here I was thinking that we had the people ready to fight. We had boxing back to the old days. We have it. You know what? You issued the challenge to the people. Xander Zayas accepted the challenge, like he said. And now y'all turn into businessmen. You went from whoever wanted can get it. You went from being the can man to anybody can get it to being, oh, well, the business, it's all about the business. So I don't know, but I will say this. And someone in my comment section said to me when I said I think Xander Zayas is more talented than Boachuk, that they disagreed. And that's fine. But Xander Zayas needs an opportunity. Boachuk at least got his opportunity to fight Vergil Ortiz. We saw what he did with it, and a lot of people think he won. But we don't know what Xander Zayas is going to do because nobody's giving Xander Zayas the opportunity. Xander Zayas is damn near begging for an opportunity to show what he can do. And the so-called guy who said it wasn't me who was avoiding the fights, and it never was, avoided the fight. So if Boots is a duck, is Vergil Ortiz a duck? And don't give me he's fighting Madrimov, because Madrimov isn't going to have time to recover and have a full training camp. And you know this. He's fighting an actual fight on December 21st. After that, he's going to need time to recover. And then he's going to have to be ready to fight on February 22nd. At best, he's going to be ready to get back in camp. And when I say get back in camp, is he going to be sparring again by January 15th? And then he has to fight on February 22nd. Anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section. But to recap the 3 reasons why I believe that Xander Zayas would have been a better opponent for Vergil Ortiz Jr. than Israil Madrimov is: 1, Israil Madrimov is going to have a short window to recover and to train for the fight. 2, it's Puerto Rico versus Mexico, which practically sells itself when you have really good fighters like Vergil Ortiz Jr. and Xander Zayas. And 3, Xander Zayas is entering his prime. Vergil Ortiz is in his prime. This would be a massive victory for Vergil Ortiz right now if he could get it, like Floyd Mayweather beating Canelo, like Tito Trinidad beating Fernando Vargas when they fought. Yes, Fernando Vargas was young, and Tito Trinidad could have a little boyed him and said, I have bigger fish to fry. But Tito Trinidad said, I'll take that name. And he did. And for all the big boy and he's trying to do with Xander Zayas is 22 years old and he's 26. So it's not like, he's that much older than Xander Zayas. But anyways, let me know what you think in the comment section. Please like, share, subscribe. It's Caden. I'm out. Peace.